guys, welcome back to another video. We are here in Detroit.
We are.
Near where you grew up.
Yes, I did grow up within the Metro Detroit area.
Everybody sort of says, oh, I'm from Detroit, but they're like 20, 30, 40 miles out.
Yeah.
Some of the, pretty nice areas actually. And this is the first year I've really been enjoying Detroit and really Michigan in general.
Yeah.
And the weather today, obviously windy, but warm.
Yeah.
Not too humid.
It's like 70 degrees right on the nose, I think.
Perfect. The drone was having a little trouble getting up there.
It's pretty windy, but we are starting our Detroit adventure today on the waterfront.
That's Canada.
That is Canada. That is Windsor, Canada. There's a bridge and a tunnel, so you can go over under the Detroit River to get to Canada from here.
Yep, beautiful river there.
Beautiful river.
And we're gonna start our little walking adventure here with the GM building, and I think it's one of the prettiest buildings here.
Yeah.
It's really quite a cool, it's very fascinating. And there is a GM little display here, but we actually found ourselves a little frustrated, disappointed, I should say, more than anything. They want the taxpayer to fund something like $500 million to tear that down. They want the city to fund it. But I found that odd, because they're like, yeah, it's gonna really open up the space. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, but you have all of this other business here. Like, that seems kind of weird, right?
And General Motors is talking about moving their headquarters to a different building in town, so they're gonna leave this all together.
Right, but they own this. And so I guess at some point at least, if it's not currently, it was a hotel, there was like a small mall. The GM folks, I think they do still, as we read, they still occupy a few of the floors, but everyone works remotely or at a, somewhere else. So it's kind of interesting, but it is really a beautiful building and very like, I don't want to say Art Deco, but very 50s design. I mean, just, isn't that cool? I think it's cool.
Yeah, the middle tower is the Marriott Hotel.
Oh, that's right, that's right. But it feels like they could do more. Like, is it not cheaper to renovate than it is to, especially something like this, than it would be to just create a new building? Like, feels like it would be more cost effective.
It's not even like this needs a lot of renovation.
But one thing we were kind of deliberating on, right, and not being a GM fan, I'm very biased, right, but we're really debating on, like, what is GM doing? Like, what are they going with? And it seems like they're no longer, I mean, they're really like a car company, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like they've kind of lost the car part of it. They've really just been about, like, it's just about business and I don't know, maybe there's a lot of hands, who knows, right? And we're also missing a little context because we just read a few articles here and there and, but let's talk about some of the designs that I find very interesting, especially seeing kind of where they've come from. I gotta say, this building is just beautiful. Like, every angle of it, I mean, kind of brutalist, right? With these huge pillars and such, but it just seems important, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, and I would say just about every angle is interesting. What I think is also really cool is that they show off a lot of the different automotive designs, not only what they currently have, which I have some opinions on, but some historic designs as well. Like, they have this Buick GSX. Now, I noticed that they really seem to be pushing Buick hard.
They do. Buick and Cadillac.
Yeah, and so we got Cadillac over here, which does not remind me of any other Cadillac, but look at this guy over here. This is the 72 Silver Arrow. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of this, but I can see why they would put it on display.
Yeah.
And I can see why somebody would love it.
And then, yeah, they have some of the new Cadillacs over here.
The other day we saw this guy, and this is an EV. It's a Vistique. We thought this was an Escalade, and I gotta say, I can see why it exists. It kind of reminds me a lot more of like a Bentley slash Land Rover, maybe?
They're definitely trying to make this way more luxury than the other car lines. They're trying to differentiate it that way.
But it just kind of, it looks cheap to me. I don't know why. I think because these lines are not functional. Now, this line is functional, right? Especially because you have these lights over here. But I'm noticing this light and this light also reminds me a lot of what they're doing, like Hyundai. Hyundai's doing a lot of that. But you kind of see this. They're sort of trying to switch to this, right? And what I like about Cadillac is they've always had some of the coolest looking lights, especially on the back, and I'll show you some examples of this, but on the back, it really feels Cadillac, but this feels more like a Lexus to me than a Cadillac. But what do you guys think? This must have been one of the concept vehicles. A Cadillac CL? Look at the beautiful, strong lines. That thing's gorgeous.
2011.
2011, it looks like a concept vehicle more than anything. That is cool.
I personally find these old concept vehicles that they have on the side back here way more interesting than all the new models.
All the new ones just feel, so like this one is an optique. They're using a lot of Q, which kind of feels,
Luxury.
just sort of feels stupid to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
like you're
but
trying
they're
really
to
hard.
go luxury with it.
See, okay, this looks like a Range Rover maybe, I don't know. This looks like a Cadillac up here to me. But this looks like a Fisher. You guys seen that company? Some of the Fisher designs. You got this guy in like, I want to talk about the handles in a few. This just feels haphazardly placed to me. This is the charger. You would magnet, boom, off it goes, right? But the front looks like a Cadillac.
You can tell it's like a big computer in the dash.
It just feels like plasticky kind of crap. We have sort of a vinyl on our dash. Mm-hmm. And you know that it's kind of plastic, right? And we've been into the dash, it's a lot of plastic. But it doesn't feel, to me, that communicates a different, like the hard plastics look cheaper.
Yeah.
However, look at this Hummer.
I like the Hummer.
I like this color on the Hummer. And I think I find it the most obnoxious thing. 3 little windshield wipers. Not funny. I do think they have cool little techniques, you know, and they don't get great range because they're big and heavy and whatever, but it's a huge battery pack. So, you know, I think they look really nice. You know, everybody has their opinions on these. But there are little things where, like, on a Hummer, this should be metal to me. You know, the bumper should be metal. You know, this flex shouldn't, I don't know. And you know these are expensive enough that it should justify a higher quality. But like even that little, you know, wagon food truck, I think it's nice. But this, I think, is, you know, GMC, obviously the Tahoe Suburban, and oh, there's another one, Yukon. They're all kind of the same platform, right? And the Escalade are all sort of the same platform. I love this design. It's sort of middle of the road. These look really nice. And one thing I really liked is so the designer comes down, right, with the pen, comes over, brings it up, and then swoosh, and it brings your eye back. I think that looks really cool. But I'm not seeing that with a lot of the newer designs. But you do see, like, even this little portion right here. What are you guys' opinions on this, right? Because you see this little portion, you see this little, right? It feels like it's of the same family, same designers. But the new Cadillacs, not so much. Though, I will say this, and I wish they'd bring the wings back. What is this?
A 1953 Cadillac Le Mans.
That is gorgeous. This has style. And you know that it's a Cadillac because of the face, or really a GM product because of the face. Look, it's got the white walls. They just pump those bad boys back up. This is just beautiful. Just beautiful. I wonder if this is an automatic top. Look at that. Just look at all that chrome. But this looks like a quality vehicle. And I love these wings, you know. And I love that, like, today with LED lights, you know, you can kind of bring some of that style, you can maintain some of that style.
Yeah.
And obviously Cadillac, I mean, they're known for their style. I don't think that today's vehicles really match that.
No.
But the one thing that they've completely lost their identity, so GM acquired Daewoo a long time ago,
right.
And they're Korean. They've been using a lot of those designers. That is not an American vehicle. I forget where these were made, but I think it was like South Korea or something. Envision, your sister-in-law has one of these.
She does, yep.
I think it's this. And it does look like a nice vehicle. She's had a few issues, but like, just look at the front. This is a Hyundai through and through. I mean, it's a Hyundai.
I don't think they're bad looking vehicles.
They're not the worst. I think the double headlight thing is kind of weird. You don't mind that?
I don't mind that.
This, see, it's like this. It almost feels like this is really cool right here, right? This feels bold, this feels nice, and again, like, you know, whatever. If you like it, you like it. But this almost feels, for some reason, incomplete. Like there's this kind of, it's like, it's almost function over form, which is not something that I would have expected out of Buick, like to come back, you know what I mean? Right. And it's like, why not? Buick is the one, though, that I feel like I'm amazed. They're apparently really popular in China, which that car I guarantee is popular in China. But I'm amazed it's still around because they got rid of Pontiac. They got rid of, which they had some amazing, the GTO, right? Great design, you know. Obviously Chevrolet makes good sense, and this is just
a 1954 Corvette convertible.
Everybody loves a good Corvette, right? What a beast! The way that they framed the license plate, even, you know, and these bullet lights. Bring that back. Bring that. There's an old Buick. Here's the Buick Enclave, and this little bit here. Yeah, it did allow them to extend the storage room, right? Maybe even out a third row. But it just doesn't, it kind of feels, doesn't feel like an American vehicle. And these are just horrible. I don't want to talk about that. You know, these don't, what do you guys think? I don't think it's the worst design, but it doesn't feel like a Buick. It definitely doesn't feel like a GM product to me. That is amazing.
When I think of Buick, this is what I think of.
Yeah.
A 1955 Century hardtop.
Golly, yeah. When I think of Buick, I really think of like the Regals, these massive lumbering vehicles. This is probably including, I love the white walls on this. But what happened to like, bring that back, you know? Instead of this crap that all looks the same, like these two, what's the difference? The Encore, the Invista, you know? It seems like the cheaper Buicks don't get the Q, but they get the EN.
Yeah.
You know? The Equinox, what is this? You know? I know at least a few of you guys have the Equinox. Does this look like an Equinox? No, this is the EV version. Does this look like an Equinox to you? Doesn't that feel weird to like, and you know, again, so they're adding a little texture here, but just look at all that. Like, look at, can you guys see that? All the flex there. There's just, you know, and you know that's not carbon fiber. That's definitely not. But especially on a pickup truck, I want it to feel like a steel machine, like it's gonna last forever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat the hell out of it, even if it's made out of aluminum. It can feel a certain way. Like the design communicates something, and I don't think that these designs communicate my values, I should say.
Sure.
Like the old ones do. Just amazing. I mean, whether or not you like the curves and the wings and whatever, they still communicate a style. They have a point. Or that Corvette right there. That's a big. I was surprised when they came out with that because I didn't think it was a GM product. Or that beautiful blue Camaro back there. You know, that communicates a certain. It's distinct. And everybody looks at an old Camaro and they go, "Damn, that's a nice car." Even if you've seen 1,000, you're like, "That's good design," because it is, and it looks aggressive. It's like it has a point. Because everything our truck communicates, hey, I can do something. I can haul something, you know?
Yeah.
I can take some abuse.
Yeah.
I don't know. These just don't. You know? And if I wanted that kind of design, I'd buy a Honda or a Toyota, or I wouldn't buy a Buick, I don't think, or a Cadillac. At least a Cadillac.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts? Speaking of design, again, back to this building, just because I think it's so impressive. I mean, it's so cool. You can walk around this ring. There were three floors up. And it keeps going. You can take the elevator, and I'm sure you said there's a hotel here, right?
So it's this middle tower right here. There's a hotel.
That's cool. Yeah, this is really neat. I wish that was spinning around. You'd think they would, because they blocked off access over there. I wonder if they're loading something up.
Fun fact about this building, I actually met Drew Barrymore here in line at Starbucks in this building when she was here filming her roller derby movie.
Even the red ring that they put around the glass, the beautiful glass there, it communicates something, yeah? It says they care about something. That kind of matches actually with the red pillars over there. They hit a car over here. What is this? But I will say, what was that crap you just Chevy Trax? What a turd. That was a turd of an automobile. And if you have one,
strong feelings about my car.
You know, I have extraordinary. So it was funny because we've been going back and forth. I think I'm a very mild-mannered, like chill kind of. I don't care much about much, but the things I do care about, I get very passionate about. If I care about it, I'm all in.
I'm truly surprised he didn't dump me because of my car.
No, I wouldn't have. I think this is a new Trax, which I will say, better designed, still not an American. It doesn't feel like an American vehicle. I like the color though. It is a Trax. Yeah, that's funny. This definitely looks a lot better than yours did. Yours looked like a baby's shoe.
This kind of looks Subaru-esque.
So it does feel like, no, and it is.
Kind of a Crosstrek.
So it's definitely out of like Korea. You feel that.
Yeah.
But it does feel like they were trying to compete with Subaru.
Kind of feels like they're competing with the Crosstrek.
But same way that people get really upset when like their sports team loses, I couldn't care less about sports. I think automotive design is like, it's just one of those things, and it is important. I think people don't think of this, but it is important.
Cars are dull sports.
Yeah, well, and because they're changing all the time, they're one of the most expensive things, you know, and everybody has one. You know, generally speaking, it's like an expectation that like most people have one or multiple.
Yeah.
You know, the other car that just the most disappointing thing, The Chevy Blazer.
Yeah.
They used to be the cool, what is it, K5 Blazer, like the little burly, like
Yeah.
steel beasts of machines. And you go, well, they're not very efficient, sure, whatever. Also, they used to have a display here.
Yeah, they used to have a cool EV display here.
Yeah, well, they were talking about all their, like, they want to go to a unified platform and all this. But say what you will about the lack of efficiency of that K5 Blazer. It had presence, you know? Just like the old Bronco had presence. The new Bronco, what a turd. Yeah, they have two versions, is it Bronco Sport or whatever?
Yeah.
What is it? This one's bigger than that. Is this, what is this?
I think this is the one we saw the other
This
day.
might have been the one we saw. Look how freaking massive. Here, stand next to that. Dude, that's huge. That's big. That's a big vehicle. Looks like it's on the same platform, because look how low they are. This is the Escalade IQ. Okay. And what is this? What is E4, right? Electric maybe, right? But 1,000, like what is that? Like the longest range? What do you? And you know, look at the size of that notch up there. Now, much like the iPhone has that stupid notch that I'm very passionate about, look at the size of that sucker there. But here's something that I will not let go of because I'm very passionate about this as well. And I think this is just one of the stupidest things, and I'm sure there's an engineer out there that's like, no, it's better. I completely disagree. What happens here in the winter?
It gets really cold and freezes.
And what happens to your door in the winter?
It freezes shut.
Yeah. So what did these engineers do? Well, this is not a handle. None of these are actually handles. What they are, however, is a little button on the inside, a little button, and you push it and then it pops the door. The Mustang Mach-E has that. There are quite a few electric vehicles that have this. This is technology for technology's sake, not for product improvement. And it's a, you know, does it cost more to make it with a stupid button and a plunger and a whole system? Or does it cost less just to make a moving handle?
Yeah, I think it makes cost less and it's more efficient to make a popping handle.
But in all of their brilliance, they thought, oh, we can reinvent the wheel. But here's the thing. See, if it doesn't move, it shouldn't move. It should feel solid when I buy this $100,000 plus SUV, and I'm sure this has air ride and all that other crap. But these actually have so much flex. And not only that, but when I go to grab this, I can see the rest of the door flexing, right? Because it's an aluminum. So they feel like plastic. They sound like plastic, and you can actually hear the difference here. But while they shouldn't move, they do move, and that makes for a terrible customer product experience. And I think the Cadillac is sort of, I think the GM in general, there's not a single product that I would buy today. Yeah. Maybe their Duramax truck though. That's pretty, I mean, I love our truck, but might even consider, you know, with the Duramax. I think that's a pretty good product. Let's go walk around. Let's see what else there is to see out here in this beautiful city.
So walking down the waterfront here, they have this building that looks newer, and then you have this brown building over here. And then right here in the middle, they have like this bridge, this little walking bridge between the two.
Everything seems to kind of connect, and it is like a really beautiful city, like kind of in the way that Chicago is. Like it just seems historic, and they're not just like getting rid of old stuff just for the sake of getting rid of, you know, putting something better in its place. I will say though, we are seeing a lot of American flags. There was a George Washington statue. They love America here, it seems. So while we're out here, whose fist is that?
That's the Joe Louis fist. Joe Louis is from Detroit.
He's a famous boxer, right?
He was a famous boxer. The Detroit Red Wings used to play at Joe Louis Arena, which is like the old hockey stadium, and then they moved to Little Caesars Arena, but they tore it down, I believe.
It's a cool bike. Yeah, this is neat. That's a big fist. And for some perspective here.
This is the Spirit of Detroit statue. And this is like one of the most iconic things in Detroit.
Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And once again, liberty is the most beautiful word in our dictionary.
This is the beginning of Campus Martius Park, and you can walk through here, and there's all sorts of like plants. It's just like a cool place to hang out. In this winter time, they have a big ice skating rink in the middle of the park here. But they have like sand, like it's like a beach theme, beach party vibe out here.
They brought in sand. It's funny.
But in the winter, you can go ice skating. So over here across the street, you see two different Coney Islands here.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people may not understand what a Coney Island is, because I barely understand what a Coney Island is.
It's like, okay, like these ones you're going for hot dogs. You're going for a hot dog with chili on it.
But they're not all like that. Like some will also serve like turkey clubs and
you can get
spaghetti
salads and like Greek food, like chicken finger pita,
steak, hamburgers.
All sorts of different stuff. Really.
It doesn't really mean anything, does it?
It's kind of like a diner a little bit.
It's sort of a gamble. Like you pick it's not like McDonald's, you know exactly what you're getting. It's it varies.
Right.
It could be anything.
So here you have two competing Coney Islands right next door to each other. You have American Coney Island and Lafayette Coney Island. You definitely have a favorite Coney Island if you're from the area. So if you're from Michigan,
I feel like your family picks it for you.
your family does kind of pick it for you, but you have a favorite.
Or like the first one you've ever been to.
And normally it's national or you're wrong. But we have American and Lafayette here. And then you can go to both and like try a Coney from both, and it's like a dueling thing.
I just happen to love the vibe in here. It's this old diner kind of. We're gonna have to go to a Coney Island later on today. But in terms of like vibe and some cool photos, I think I got a one or two.
Yeah.
The one little girl that was like staring at me from.
She really wanted to be one of your photos.
And she was. Ooh. Yeah, like the marbling on the side, but just kind of look like a 50s diner right through here.
Yeah, we'll have to ask my brother if he wants to go to Coney for dinner tonight.
So there's Canadian wildfires up north of here, so all that is coming down, and apparently it's not very good air quality right now.
No.
But it is giving a lot of it's adding to the depths, right? It kind of feels foggy almost, and so shooting through, I'm not getting all the best shots. I don't think I've shared any of my photography, but we're having a little bit of fun, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of being on the lookout. Emma's more my spotter. Like, oh, somebody's coming in because I'm trying to get. It's hard to get the people, you know.
Yeah.
Also, is that a second Lafayette?
Yeah, they're dueling Coneys. Lafayette Coney Island's right there.
Yep, and American Coney Island.
Yeah. I am personally a fan of Leo's or National, though, if you want my opinion.
A little snobbish, if you ask me.
Detroit really is just one of the most beautiful cities. Highly underrated, in my opinion, in terms of the beauty of it.
Well, I think especially considering this is a city that's been bankrupt just at least twice, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. And so people lost their pensions, and it amazes me because it's a city that has so much potential, right? What is the phrase, Detroit hustles, or whatever?
Detroit hustles harder.
Yeah. I mean, there's a talent here, right? There's so much opportunity here.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting that the city has been so poorly managed, considering, property taxes are pretty extraordinary. Mm-hmm. They have a state income tax here. They have a ton of funds. It's not a money issue. It's a management issue, right?
Yeah.
But it's like with anybody. If you're not good at spending your money, if you don't know how to spend your money, you can't. You're not gonna, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Look at this transit center. This is ridiculous. Look at this. What is this? Rosa Parks Transit Center. That's cool.
This is kind of cool. They have it's in one of these alleyways. You have the big painted mural of flowers and then a green wall, and then they have this little metal statue right here, kind of outlining the whole thing. Kind of an interesting alley. You got Joel up there in his element taking all these cool photos. It's just such a cool city. There's just so much to look at. And we've got really retro vibe places like the Speaker Box Coffee here. This, across the street here, is going to be the new headquarters of General Motors. So they're going to move from that big tall building we were in before over here to this building.
Looks like they're about done with the exterior. What do you think about it?
I think it's a cool looking building. I don't think it has anything on the Renaissance Center though.
I know, I think it's kind of ugly personally.
But I guess if you're just using it for the office spaces.
Yeah, maybe it has newer plumbing, maybe it has nicer electrical or something like that. Why not just sell that other building as it is?
For the city that drives us all, a community space coming soon. And then we've got all this fun art across the street. Detroit. We've walked down quite a few of these alleys that have just cool holes in the wall and murals and art and paintings. They're just very interesting. And they have restaurants and businesses and things aligned on them, but pretty interesting.
I like the extra lighting. There's a lot of design and kind of intention, even though you might have some ugly structures out here, right? Ugly things. I love it when people take something that has to be there and kind of beautifies around it. Or this could be just an ugly wall, but they add a little pop color, and I don't know, it's kind of cool. So we are having a blast. Now, something that's kind of funny is I get little notifications and I'm reading some comments. I think the RV manufacturer is nowhere in the area.
I think they do.
Right?
Seems like it.
we're getting some particularly negative comments around old videos, right? Like reviews, like 3 different reviews that I've done where people are just, I would say, trying to just kind of discredit, like, oh, this guy's not a real consumer advocate, and da-da-da, like, you know, and it's one thing to, like, you got like a Thor Vegas and you love your Thor Vegas. Hey, show the benefits, like, that's cool. Say, I agree with point X, Y, Z, but it's not even subtle, right?
No, and it's like, he almost seems like a lawyer that's trying to intimidate us a little bit.
No, I think they know that we're in the area and they know what's coming, so. But here's the thing, I'm all about transparency, right? We have nothing at all to gain. And like one person's like, why don't you show the rig that you love that's so perfect? I was like, what?
We
do
show ours all the time.
No, but the thing is like, we have never claimed that there's like a perfect RV or anything like that, because there really isn't a perfect one. There's the one that's perfect for you. But there are, I would argue, that like, although you may have loved the Pinto, or it was a Gremlin or the Pinto, I think it was the Pinto, but they were recalled because if you got rear-ended, they would explode because the gas tank was in a horrible place, right? I would argue that makes it a terrible product that nobody should buy.
Yeah.
And you know who else agreed with that? The federal government. So, like, it's kind of one of those things, but it's, I don't know. I find these kind of funny. But on a positive note, we have been having a lot of fun lately with the Cricut machine. What do you got here? Kind of a special design we're playing around with.
Yeah, we made a new logo. So you see the flamingo here on my chest pocket.
Uh-huh.
And then on my wrist, I got the YouTube logo.
I'm gonna put mine up here.
And then on the back.
Yeah. It's got a lot of razzle dazzle. I think that's kind of cute.
We're trying it out on different things.
Yeah, you start to get the idea. I do really want a Hawaiian shirt. I think that would be really cool with the logo on it. Like, you know, because what really ends up happening is we're walking down the street, people kind of turn to see what we're doing. But look at my back. What are we doing? Right there. So we're gonna play around with some of these designs. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think we figured out a way to get one on a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, I think we figured it out.
Yeah, look at this city. The lighting is so good here. Oh man, whatever they build here is gonna be amongst good company here. But back to comments, I will say we have been leaving the comments, most of the comments. Some are just like pure spam, just trash. But even the critical comments we've been leaving, and somehow it doesn't seem to be yet inviting more and more of just negativity. So I don't think it's affected the community yet. So yeah. I just find it funny though that people are trashing the old videos.
Yeah. They're looking for us. Detroit is located in Wayne County. This is the Wayne County Courthouse building right here in the center of downtown Detroit.
I thought this was City Hall. This is impressive. This is something. And from this angle, it's kind of a cool shot of the GM building here.
Yeah.
I think that we always have a pretty good time walking around here, and our goal has been to get at least 10,000 steps in.
Yes.
Like doing street photos and, you know, exploring cities. That's easy to achieve that goal, I think.
Yeah, we definitely hit 10,000 today.
Now we've also picked up some tools for the channel that I think will be a nice addition. But let's go ahead. We're gonna head back, meet up with Emma's brother. Oh dang, look at that Lambo. Sheesh. Even their license plate matches, that's funny. And we'll show you guys what Coney Island's all about. Grab your brother and grab some dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, just want to give you guys some funny context here. This is what we're working with. And then on the other side, that's what we're working with here. So getting through, it was a tight squeeze. And at the very end here, we're snuck in here, so want to leave a little gap. We also needed just enough room, so this worked out, but it ain't pretty, that's for sure. Let's say hi to the dogs here. Hi guys. Hi guys. Colt's ears still bother him a bit. That's a whole thing. I need to be a little more aggressive with the apple cider vinegar and water, but Sam, come here. Come here. Let's see it. Let's see your side. Look at that, how wonderful. No more lump and bump, and that's healing up nicely. Look at that. Oh, I'm so glad, Sam. Yeah, you feel better. You feel better. Right, buddy? Colt's a good boy. Come on. Yeah, good girl. But if I haven't already mentioned it, Emma's brother and his wife, very, very generous for letting us crash here on their property. We're taking up like half of their sidewalk here. But huge benefit, because I don't know that the bus, we might have been able to sneak it in here, but we would have, like, exiting the bus, we would have been in the, you know, neighbor's property. And this rig is just it's a great size. Nikki D's Coney Island, good food, we're welcome, looks great. Let's go in. Oh my gosh. In terms of fast food slash kind of sitting down, man, just wonderful. Just really, really, really good food. The menu actually seemed a little simpler here. I don't know if there was spaghetti on the menu, but a lot of these places you can see spaghetti, fish, and they're all a little different. They just call them Coney Island, which might as well just be synonymous with like restaurant or whatever. But the weather is like 76, no humidity because it thunderstormed the last couple days. It's just wonderful. So we're gonna chill here, enjoy the sunset and a little ambiance out here. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.